All right, top of the hour here, 1 p.m. WIUR, the voice of Iona
You good?
University.
You good? Yeah, your voice cracked right there.
I'm good. You're interrupting my intro, but anyways,
Your voice did that.
anyways, top of the hour here, 1 p.m. WIUR, Gale Radio, Ball Knowers, alongside Luke Dolan.
Hi.
I am Carmelly. So the weather right now, a bad 58 and rainy, but should be clearing up
It was
relatively soon.
It was
so
fine briefly when I got out of my car and came into the studio today. It was fine, but I think it's gonna rain soon anyway.
yeah, it's currently raining right now. Coming in on the home stretch of the semester here, so I hope y'all are
getting ready
for those who did blow off their classwork for the first couple of months to get back on them. Me personally, I didn't. I'm an academic weapon, but I know for others possibly they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of making up a lot, catching up on a lot. So I hope you guys are locking in and doing well in that department. Anyways, for sports, obviously, talk of the town, baseball. Yankees are 10-3, going into Cleveland tonight, who have also had an impressive start. And the Mets recently winning a series against
the Braves,
a team who has been their boogeyman for the last 30 years.
I mean, for a bit, but back-to-back series wins off for the Reds and then the Braves, and now they are going into the weekend series against the Royals, home, in which Stock Gooden gets his number retired on Sunday, and it's gonna be full of good vibes, a lot of good vibes this weekend, hopefully.
See, the Royals are another one of those teams like we mentioned last week. Or no, I was talking about it on the Into the Stands with Robbie Basil. Great show, by the way, and we have
something for that.
We have something for that. We're gonna address that later. But the Royals are another one of those teams who's sort of when we talk about teams that get off to torrid starts in baseball, who are not really expected to do well. The Royals are definitely up there with the Pirates and the Guardians. I don't know if you can put them up there.
I don't know. They were kind of okay.
I mean, they're in the AL Central, so it's
so they always have a chance.
Best of the worst in that case. But the Royals are doing well right now. Bobby Witt Jr. is tearing the cover off the ball, hitting like he's George Brett. But again, I don't see it being sustainable for the Royals.
They have.
I am a very much a show me the money type of fan when it comes to sports, and it's how I view every team. It's like, okay, it's like I'll believe it when I see it. Like I'm a logic and results based human being, and with the Royals, it's no different.
Indeed.
So they will be going into the gorgeous Citi Field to play the red hot New York Mets. Or I don't know about red hot. I don't know about red hot.
Back on track. Back on track.
Yeah, they're on track.
I mean, they're still under 500, but considering how they started and now they're playing much better now. They're playing.
Yeah, they're playing a lot better.
All right, posted the links to some of my social media to get people to view. Hopefully, do we have anyone in the chat?
No, nobody. That stinks, but
that's okay.
And the VODs are going to be up. Who
cares? The VODs will be up. And but yeah, the Mets offense since the earthquake has been stellar. They scored like 25 runs since the earthquake occurred, which is like one of the best compared to how they started the season. I gotta find the tweet or something like that. But they've been, hey, DJ Stewart has his first hit of the season was a home run. He's been getting up, but he had a home run yesterday, which put his average to 125, but an OPS of 917. So he's doing the Kyle Schwarber thing right now, which honestly is fine.
God, I love Kyle Schwarber.
I hate Kyle Schwarber.
I would. Oh my God! If Kyle Schwarber were on the Yankees,
I was begging you guys to sign him when he was a free agent.
I would have. Oh man, I would have given so much for the Yankees to sign Kyle Schwarber because all the guy does is hit bombs in the playoffs.
Yes, which is what playoff teams need.
Home runs, despite what a lot of people would be led to believe, thinking that selling out for power and going for contact and rinky-dink hits is what wins you.
You need that
championships.
Big hit.
You need big hits because you're going up against good pitchers. And when you go up against good pitchers, you know what you're not going to get? You're not going to get a bunch of hits and strong contact strung together.
Yes.
So realistically speaking, it's like by the numbers, the teams that always hit for the most power in October are the ones who end up winning the world, go on deep runs and end up winning the World Series.
Exactly. Or have a strong bullpen.
Yeah, strong bullpen, strong starters. Well, strong pitching and
strong pitching in general, yeah. And
also finding the strike zone, not giving free passes, which is a problem that I have with the Yankee bullpen. I do not have a lot of problems with this Yankee team. This is rare. This is very rare. I am talking positively about the New York Yankees. They are killing it right now. They have a really good offense. Sure, Judge hasn't really woken up yet, but if it's among all the players in baseball, Aaron Judge is among those who I am the least worried about. Yeah. Juan Soto has been
a godsend.
Amazing. And I'm going to say something about Juan Soto before I forget, while we're on the topic of him. I was texting my dad about this because, we yap about sports. And I text him, I'm like, if Juan Soto ends up staying here long term and ends up winning a championship, he will be the most significant acquisition made by a New York team since the Rangers traded for Mark Messier. I genuinely believe that because that is the type of vibe that I am getting from Soto. Like you're talking about Messier was called the Messiah.
He was
that's the vibe I'm getting from Juan Soto. The change, the aura that he brings. This entire team looks different just because of him. The at-bats that they're taking, even the guys who are getting out, they're taking pitches. They're making pitchers work.
They're working pitch counts.
They're working starters out of the game. Like I remember last year, there was somebody. I remember Jameson Taillon went 8 shutty on this team. 8 shutout innings. And Jameson Taillon was horrible last year. No disrespect to him as a guy, but he was not a good starting pitcher. And the Yankees gave him easy out after easy out after easy out. And they didn't make starters work. There were too many times where starters were just cruising through
the lineup
outings against the Yankees last year. But then Soto comes in. He's taking how many pitches per at bat? He's not an easy out. Every single time Soto gets out,
he's working the count.
He's working a count. Rarely do you see him chase. Even Gleyber Torres is a guy who's not really hitting that well. Or not really hitting at all, as a matter of fact, but he's working counts. He's seeing
grinding out at bats.
He's seeing 4 pitches per at bat, which is the type of thing you want out of the leadoff spot, even though I think Anthony Volpe is the better option for now until Gleyber starts hitting.
Right.
And speaking of Anthony Volpe, he's been
good.
I mean, if he keeps up these offensive numbers, I'm willing to put him in the conversation for top 5 shortstop in baseball. That is,
yeah.
And I remember I gave Cashman so much, and I will still give him a little bit of grief for not getting a shortstop in the 2021 offseason leading into 2022.
But you have
because that was the window, and I do believe if the Yankees had a stronger shortstop, I do think they have a much better chance of winning the World Series that year. And the Yankees are still now not really in a position to be looking toward the future, but Volpe. Now, I think you have a young guy like him under control. Say you pull an Alex Anthopoulos, get him locked up to a really long-term team-friendly deal. That's what I want with Volpe. I say give it a couple more months. If he keeps hitting well, say he becomes a 120 WRC plus bat with literally gold glove defense. That is the type of guy you lock up long term. That's a guy who would be a franchise cornerstone on most teams.
At a key position.
And dude, shortstop for the Yankees, especially after Jeter. You want to talk about the pressure that comes with that? He's handling it.
Yep.
And the at-bats, he's not chasing. His swing, his plate discipline metrics are off the charts. He has improved, he's cut down his chase rate by 5-6%. He's increased the amount of times he's swinging at pitches in the zone. He's taking more pitches. He's grinding out at bats.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he's not making the quality of contact that he was making last year, like his barrel rate has fallen, he has a level swing. He's driving the ball to all fields. And with a guy like him, you don't really need a lot of power out of Volpe because and granted, he has natural pop that can get him.
He has a 581 slugging.
Well, that's because he has like a 4-something batting average. That's going to go down.
372 average, 460 on base, and 581 slugging, 1,041 OPS.
He's not going to be keeping that up for the entire year. If he keeps that up for the entire year, he's the best player in baseball.
Yes.
But okay, at Shohei Ohtani. But other than Ohtani's not pitching.
He's not pitching now.
Ohtani can't run the bases like Volpe. I can't believe we're having this conversation. But like I'm saying, if he keeps up those stats, he's the best shortstop in baseball.
He has 51 plate appearances, 43 at bats. That kind of explains a lot too.
Right. Yeah, like I'm saying, like there's natural regression that's gonna happen there. His xWOBA is around like 200 points below his actual WOBA. His expected batting average is around 200 points below his actual batting average. So, or not 200, like around 150. He has an XBA above the Mendoza line, but like, I'm sure that's gonna balance out too. Like the quality of contact is gonna get better, and the actual results are going to level out. But I feel like by the time the results level out, if Volpe is a guy who can give you a 110, 115 WRC plus with that defense, you're talking about a guy who's a potential 5-tool player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like if he gets back to his power numbers last year, and it's not like he's a slouch either when it comes to hitting for power. Like he has pop. Last year he had 20 home runs. Not to mention on the base pads.
He had 20 steals too.
Yeah, he had a 2020 season in his rookie year while not really hitting. I mean, that's an amazing, like that's like Anthony Volpe's hitting now.
I wouldn't bet on Ohtani. Someone said.
Oh my God. But like it wasn't it found out that his interpreter like embezzled $16 million from him?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not good at the sports betting thing, am I? Which is a quote now. I like one of those Bleacher Report quotes now. Infamous.
I saw a TikTok from like the girl who's in charge of
like getting quotes
of finding quotes and sending them to the graphic artists. She said on a TikTok, she intentionally looks for quotes that are going to be reaction images. Like NBA players, like she just like her job is to just go through press conferences and look through articles and find
the quote
and find memeable quotes that can be used in any circumstance.
These chairs are creaking all the way. But yeah, that is quite the job to have.
Oh, dude,
I would love that job.
I think you and me, we'd be good at that job.
Speaking of which,
our lunch buddy would be pretty good at that job.
I mean, yeah, he would be. There was a quote last night from the Sharks goalie Devin Gooley, who had a 49 save performance, and the quote says, "It's just like nobody cares. You know, nothing's really gonna matter. We're all gonna die. Just off rip."
Yeah, that is the type of quote that the Bleacher Report chick looks at, and she's like, "Oh."
Like, that's what it's
like. Oh, yeah. Look at that. The reaction image right there. It's got. I mean, they're not gonna be able to see it on camera, but but that's what they look for. Anyways, back to Volpe.
Yes,
like he's like a potential top 5 shortstop in baseball. Like, there's a reason why he was the 5th best prospect in the game when he was called up, because he has his ceiling is a 5-tool like elite shortstop. Like as of right now, he's my American League starter for the All-Star game. It's either him or Bobby Witt.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then as you were mentioning, you probably should just lock him up now, long term.
I don't know about like a 2-week sample size of elite.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay, 3 weeks. A 3-week sample size of elite hitting. I'm gonna wait until the All-Star break to start saying like, okay, get it get it done.
See if you
But-
can get it done.
But right now, I still want to see a little bit more from him. If he keeps this up, I don't even know if he's going to want to take a short or a team-friendly deal.
Right
He's going to
now.
want, if he keeps this up, he's going to
gonna-
bank on himself doing it until he hits free agency and gets $300 million,
Yeah.
hopefully from the Yankees. But like,
Yeah, I mean,
both
the
be
guy who I want
amazing.
that to have to, of course, as I've mentioned, is Francisco Alvarez. Because
Yeah,
he's
and Alvarez plays arguably a more valuable
a more
position.
valuable position.
But Alvarez plays a significantly more valuable
And he
position
gets
than Volpe.
and he gets good offensive numbers from a position that doesn't really have much of one.
Oh yeah, like when catcher, you don't look for offense out of your catcher. Like I know Yankee fans are upset at Jose Trevino and to an extent Austin Wells. Sure, Yankees at the trade deadline, if they want, I wouldn't mind them going for a catcher who can hit well. But
the catcher needs to be able to be an elite defender.
At this point, you all he needs to do is just be able to block balls and frame pitches.
Yes.
That is why I don't give a lot of trouble to Jose Trevino.
He's a good defender.
As I'm like, yeah, I know he's a horrible hitter. He's an automatic out right now. Thing is, it's at the bottom of the lineup. The offense has had enough people show up.
You can live
and
with
perform.
that, and you can live with that.
It's like I can live with because the value he provides, the amount of runs that he
Exactly.
saves defensively makes up for the lack of runs that he's producing offensively.
Yep. Which they still call Anthony Velasquez or Velasquez.
What Velasquez?
The Yankees when they had Andrew Velasquez, I think.
Oh, Andrew Velasquez.
Fordham Prep guy.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
My brothers went to school with him.
But where did Andrew Velasquez go to school?
Fordham Prep.
Oh, yeah, the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Well, I remember that little 2-week stretch where Andrew Velasquez was hitting well. Dude, the 2021 Yankees, dude, that was a team that did not deserve to make the playoffs, dude. Oh my God, that team was not good.
But Andrew Velasquez was good for that.
Yeah, Andrew Velasquez was good for that little insanity. Remember the Yankees went on a 13-game winning streak in late August. That ended up propelling them to the playoffs, where they got promptly taken care of in the wild card game in Fenway Park. So, and I did not have it. That was where the Garrett Cole, that was when the Garrett Cole spider tack allegations were at their peak. And when Cole had that bad start, everyone was throwing that's like, oh, it's a terrible contract. Worst contract in baseball. He's a choker. And then the year after, he did have a bumpy regular season, but then in the playoffs, he shoved and everybody sort of just shut up. And then he ended up winning the Cy Young last year. And I'm sure when he comes back, he's going to be a very similar pitcher to what he was before. So, and right now, I read an article on The Athletic. Talking about Garrett Cole and his role as sort of like the Yankees pseudo pitching coach. And they were talking about he'll pull starters aside in between innings and he'll chop it up. He'll talk about their mechanics, talk about the pitch decisions. It's like, oh yeah, look at this. That's what I love the most about Garrett Cole. Not to mention he's a great pitcher, but he's a student of the game. He knows what he's talking about. He can He's not one of those guys where he's just so talented that he doesn't need to learn the nuances of the game. Like Spencer Strider is a guy who strikes me as somebody who knows absolutely nothing about the greater mechanics of pitching.
I mean, he's
that's a guy who he is a guy who I'm sure cannot give good advice to the struggling starters. Because he's like, throw hard, throw harder. And granted, Spencer Strider, very good pitcher, very talented. I know you probably have something to say about that. But there are just certain guys who are not really built to be coaches.
But, now that
Spencer Strider strikes me as one of those guys. No disrespect to him as a player and as a guy.
I mean, all the disrespect on my part, though.
Yeah, look at your jersey. I mean, you totally have no bias there. But
Oh, and now that he's injured, it's a national tragedy that he's injured now. And Bridges needs to stop throwing hard now. All of a sudden, now that
Please, people were saying that about DeGrom. They were saying that about DeGrom, and you know it.
Well, when
DeGrom got hurt, it was viewed as a tragedy to the baseball world.
It was.
Everyone felt horrible. Everyone was like, wow, dude, DeGrom really needs to dial it back on. I remember when I was 14 listening to The Fan, and they were saying, it's like, wow, dude, maybe DeGrom shouldn't be throwing 102 as a starter. As a reliever, you can get away with that, no problem. But as a starter, when you average 100, 101, 102 on your fastball, those are the types of things that are going to happen, and everyone knew it years ago. It's not like everyone was like, lol, F the Mets.
I mean, it's also
oh my God, dude, you have, this is a problem that I have with you. Do you think everyone's just against your teams? No matter what. You think the league's rigged? You think the NHL's rigged against the Rangers? You think MLB is rigged against the Mets? You think that all the forces that be are against you and your teams? Although with the Giants, you don't really say much about. You acknowledge that the Giants are horribly run and everything is their fault.
Wait a minute. I've acknowledged the Mets were horribly run for years under Wilpons. I acknowledge that part.
I have yet to see you own up to one of their mistakes in the Cohen administration. I have never heard you question a thing that they have done under Steve Cohen's leadership.
There's only been 4 years.
I have never heard you. Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, remember what was promised? When he bought the team, it was promised that within like 1 to 2 years max, they were going to be a World Series contender year in and year out. Okay, 5 years. Yeah, we're coming up on that 5th year.
Who knows?
And I don't see a World Series contender with the Mets right now. I don't see it this year. I don't see it next year. I don't see it the year after that. And all Steve Cohen has gotten the Mets so far is empty promises in free agency. If I were a Met fan, I'd be livid. I know what it's like to have empty promises thrown at me as a fan by an owner or a GM.
See, this is exactly.
I remember Odell Beckham. We didn't sign him to trade him. They trade him. I remember with the Yankees. We're not done yet. They end up trading for Isaiah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about when I'm like upset with people talking about my teams who don't even know what it even means about to be the team that I'm rooting for. You don't know what you're talking about. You actually do not know what you're talking about. And that's what pisses me off. All right.
What do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about?
You don't.
About how do I not? I'm just judging based on the sentiment from the Met fan base and from Steve Cohen. That was the expectation.
Because I'm getting total expectation from a Yankee fan right here. Thank you. Thank you, Yankee fan.
The standard that was
looking
set.
all around the banners you have across. Thank you for telling me about standards.
I'm talking about the standard that was set when Steve Cohen bought the team. When Steve Cohen bought the team, it was expected. It was all but a given. I remember seeing all those Photoshops. I remember seeing Met fans talk about how they were the talk of the town, how they were going to run New York, how Steve Cohen was going to take the town back from the Yankees, and how they were going to be the new gold standard. They were going to be the East Coast Dodgers. I have seen nothing to back up that talking point. I have seen nothing that has backed up anything that has come from that guy.
How long has
anything that has come from that fan base?
How long has it taken the Dodgers to get to that point that they were? How long did it take them?
With the Dodgers, when did Magic Johnson buy the team?
At least when in 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, and they were competing for championships in 2012.
They were in that
2012, 2013, 2014. They've been in the NLCS and they've been in the playoffs. They've been winning 100. They won the NL West in 2012, I think. All right, hold on. I'm gonna
listen. The big problem also here is that the Mets were never able to get the front office that they wanted to get for the longest time in Steve Cohen's tenure. They wanted David Stearns, and the Brewers no, go away for years.
Don't they?
But now they have him now. Finally, they were struggling to get the put together.
Okay, so 2012. Okay, so 2012, that was the San Francisco Giants winning the division. But going to 2013,
lost in the playoffs.
The Dodgers won the division, and they would win the division every year except for 2021. They would win the day. Yeah, granted they did nothing in the playoffs, but the Mets haven't even done that. They did it once, and they got bounced in the wild card by a team that the Dodgers couldn't even pass in the division.
You know the one,
or by a team that couldn't even pass the Dodgers.
I think the Mets,
and then beat the Dodgers in the NLDS because the Dodgers are horrible when it matters.
I know this doesn't. I know this
except for that little COVID
I just want to mention. I know it doesn't mean much, but I legit think the Mets are the only team that's lost a wild card series, but still like got to game 3. Because other teams have been just straight out swept.
No, I've seen some 3 games. Oh wow! That's the major accomplishment of King Cohen. King Cohen. Not my words.
I didn't say it was an accomplishment.
Not my words, and not only Salicata's words. But you're saying
I didn't say it was
we're the only team that got. Yeah, hang a banner for that one.
Oh yeah, because you got a bunch of those. Mr. Standard right here, and that you continuously try to bring down. Do you hear yourself talk?
I'm not trying to bring down the standard. I'm trying to keep the standard where it is.
Oh, but this is.
I'm not trying to pull the standard down for the Yankees.
You compared them to the Cowboys.
Yeah, because the Cowboys have a championship standard and they continuously fail to meet that standard. I compare them to the Leafs because they continuously have a championship standard for some reason. And they fail to meet that standard. And the Yankees still have a championship standard for some reason, and they fail to meet that standard.
We get into this argument every week, and you are on the wrong.
It's good radio. It's good radio. It's good content.
And you're wrong. And you're wrong with that opinion.
How am I wrong?
You are going to compare the New York Yankees, who have actually done something in the playoffs in this millennium. The Cowboys haven't even won the most playoff games in Texas as a football team since 2000. You're comparing both of them. They're clearly not comparable.
You ask any fan who has a somewhat neutral viewpoint on the Yankees and Cowboys, which actually, that's kind of impossible. But like you say you pull a fan from like Kansas City or something, like a Chiefs Royals fan. There's not really much animosity toward unless they're like in their mid 50s and because the Yankees and Royals butted heads for years in the 70s. But the Cowboys, the Chiefs and Cowboys have never met each other in the Super Bowl. So ask a fan from Kansas City. It's like, okay, the Yankees, media coverage at the wazoo. Constantly betting odds and media pundit favorites to win the championship. But they fail in the playoffs. Difference is the Yankees, like they win a few more games along the way. Cowboys, media coverage at the wazoo. Constantly sportsbook and media pundit favorites to win the Super Bowl. And they falter in the playoffs. That looks pretty similar.
You've won something this millennium.
I don't remember the 2009 World Series.
Why on earth are you trying to compare yourself to the Cowboys of all time? I'm literally trying to help. I'm literally trying to put the Yankees up on a higher standard right here.
I'm holding them to the standard because I'm mad. I'm mad at the Yankees. I'm mad at them. I'm not trying to get you to feel pity for me.
Robbie Bezos show is here.
Hi, Robbie. What's up?
What's up? He's comparing the Yankees to the Cowboys again.
I am comparing the guys. Do that. I could probably. No, I'll talk to Robbie, but hey, we might even talk about it.
He's got to get on the show. You got to have him on.
Robbie, you in class? And hey, dude, you called me into your show yesterday, half an hour in.
You know what? Maybe it's a good time to announce it ourselves.
Yeah. After that little back and forth, but like, okay. So, anyways,
he is home.
Oh yeah, he's Oh yeah, that's right. Because like yesterday I was talking about, it's like, oh, we should watch the Masters this weekend. He's like, no, I'm home. And I'm like, grr.
But yeah, we have an announcement. Yeah.
Okay, so this was announced on Into the Stands yesterday. But Luke, myself, and Robbie Basil are going to be hosting the second annual WIUR NFL Draft Special. It will be on the night of the first round. Me, Luke, and Robbie, alongside some possible guests, will be here the entire way for the first round, breaking down all the picks, giving our takes, laughing at the stupid teams who reach.
Hopefully it's not the Giants.
Yeah, hopefully it's not the Giants. Not the Giants.
Hey, but I mean, Drake May is apparently falling in the draft stock. His draft boards.
Yeah, so hopefully
he's a bad quarterback. He's a bad quarterback.
Oh yeah, terrible quarterback.
UNC,
no, Mitch Trubisky. I don't want Mitch Trubisky. North Carolina quarterbacks? No, we drafted Daniel Jones from Duke. No,
Blue Devils.
No. Drake May is not a first round quarterback. He could even fall in the second round. So the New York Giants will be so unfortunate to draft Malik Neighbors at number 6, and then they'll have to pair him up with the horrible Drake May in the second round. That would just be a Greek tragedy, wouldn't it, Luke?
That would be a Greek tragedy. Anyways, but yeah, we will be here. Though hopefully the Rangers are not playing a playoff game the same night. But who knows?
If the Rangers are playing a playoff game, I'll let you go for that.
I could probably stick around. I'll just
trust me, dude. I could not pay attention to a playoff hockey game in the NFL draft at the same time. I was out because like game 5 of our series last year fell on the same night as the first round.
Who will be this year's Levis?
Oh, Will Levis.
I think JJ McCarthy.
I can't see any team actually overdrafting on JJ McCarthy.
I can't see him.
Dude, JJ McCarthy is having the same exact draft, like pre-draft rise
as Will Levis. So I mean, JJ McCarthy is more accomplished than Will Levis, though. Too.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy did win a national championship, but he did nothing. He did nothing on that Michigan team. And I watched his film against Ohio State.
And they allowed him to do more.
Yeah, like I sat down at my computer and I searched. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to look at some tape. I searched up JJ McCarthy versus Ohio State. Because that's a pretty big, it's the significant game for Michigan. Michigan fans don't care about the national championship. They care about beating Ohio State. And I was not impressed at all. He made one good throw. One throw that genuinely made me be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But every quarterback, I could go through all 30 plus draft eligible quarterbacks in this draft, and I can find one throw like that from a sorted game for every single one of them. I unironically would rather have the Giants draft Bo Nix than JJ McCarthy.
Let's not go that far.
Bo Nix is he was allowed to do more.
I guess yeah.
He was tasked with more.
Talk about I'm like unconvinced by.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by Bo Nix either, but I'm more convinced by Bo Nix than I am by JJ McCarthy. If the Giants draft one of those guys with the 6th overall pick, I'll be livid.
Especially if one of those other quarterbacks are on the board.
Yeah, I will be livid. If the Giants draft either one of those guys at 6, I will be less livid about Bo Nix than I would be about JJ McCarthy. I'm hoping I didn't speak the Giants drafting Bo Nix into existence with that 6 overall because I want to believe that Joe Shane and Brian Dable are a smart enough brain trust to not do that. If it's not Drake May or Jaden Daniels, I want it to be Malik Neighbors. If it's not either of those guys, I want them to trade back. That has been my sentiment about the Giants draft plan. That's been my plan A, plan B, plan C. Plan A is Drake May or Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Plan B is Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. if he somehow falls to 6. And plan C is trading back and just taking the best player available, whether it be Rome Odunze, who I would not take him at 6.
I wouldn't mind drafting him at all.
I wouldn't take him at 6 though, because like my philosophy when it comes to drafting in any league,
JJ McCarthy is more.
it's
This is
that.
Zach Wilson. Robbie said. Oh no. Jack said.
No, here's the thing. JJ McCarthy isn't Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson actually impressed me in college. Zach Wilson was actually impressive in college.
Well, now, what if it's the reverse psychology here?
No, I'm not talking
What if?
myself.
Just what if maybe JJ McCarthy's actually good?
If JJ McCarthy is actually going to the Giants take him, I'd be thrilled. I would be thrilled. There is nothing more that I want from any draft than for the Giants to draft a franchise quarterback who can compete for a Super Bowl.
They look very similar. I'm just saying, Zach Wilson and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, that's also a thing. He hasn't passed the eye test. Just like as a guy.
As a guy. He doesn't pass the eye test as a guy.
Look at Zach Wilson. You're telling me you can take one look at him and you can say, oh, yeah, this guy's built for the NFL. This guy can survive the NFL. This guy can persevere through adversity.
I don't know why, but that's
JJ McCarthy. Come on, take a look at JJ McCarthy. Does he look like he's ever had to work for anything in his life?
I mean, his toughest choice he ever had to make was choosing football or hockey. Apparently,
yeah, he was gifted at hockey and he was gifted at football.
Yeah, and that was supposedly the hardest choice he had to make.
Yeah, and Zach Wilson, everybody knows the story about it. Zach Wilson was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. That guy never had to work for anything, and it showed in the NFL. Deflecting and everything.
I mean, that'd be a good college quarterback. You need someone like level-headed to be your college QB. As bad.
Well, the thing is, Zach Wilson was just talented.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson was carried by his talent until he got to the NFL,
where everyone is talented,
and defensive coordinators could find weaknesses in that talent.
Yeah, and everyone.
Like, there's a reason why why college defensive coordinators are in college and why NFL defensive coordinators are in the NFL.
Yep. Oh, but
it's we talk about how like the worst team in the NFL. Where it's like, oh, Alabama could beat that team. It's like, no, they can't.
Probably not. No.
I mean, you could take some college teams all the time. It's like you take 2019 LSU. That's an elite NFL offense.
That is a pretty good.
You take Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson that year, and you throw them on NFL offense. That team makes the playoffs. But those are only 3 players.
Imagine if Justin Jefferson gets traded to the Bengals.
Oh, I want to see that.
I kind of want.
I want to see. I have no hate. Imagine them and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship every year.
God.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'd do so much to see that. Obviously, I'd like Justin Jefferson to pout his way onto the Giants, but
yeah. But also, I hope Malik Neighbors is actually actually rises too. I hope his draft stock really rises.
Yeah, so he can get taken before Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
But Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison they're closer than you think, dude. Malik Neighbors' NFL comp was Odell Beckham, like prime Odell Beckham, and we saw firsthand.
LSU can make receivers, man.
We saw firsthand how absurd prime Odell Beckham was.
Yeah. But man, the Cardinals and Chargers do need receivers, though, man. I'm not liking our chances. Because the Chargers like, let's cut Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Yeah, we'll do that. Now we have we have no receivers.
Who knows? They might be stupid enough to. Also, the Vikings might trade up.
Hey,
that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the Vikings trading up, being so stupid and trading up to take JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. Hey, be my guest.
There's a very strong chance that it's quarterbacks going top 4.
Apparently, from things I've seen from reports about the Patriots, that they might not want to draft a quarterback because they might want to build up the foundation more before throwing in a quarterback to die.
No, what? That's valid. That's valid.
Which is a polite, just Joey Kobe Brissett who they signed, kind of.
Oh yeah, I think we're just throwing you to the wolves. Good luck.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to draft your replacement soon.
yeah.
I mean, I think he would have.
I mean,
known
Jacoby
that.
Brissett. I mean, he's making his money.
He's fine. He's decent QB.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay.
I'd like him more than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones this season, this past season, Daniel Jones was not good.
He was horrible.
He was pretty bad.
He was horrible. Let's stop at the euphemisms. He was arguably the worst quarterback.
I'm just trying to keep myself from swearing, man.
Here's the thing. I have a natural filter that I can apply whenever I'm in front of a microphone.
I know, yeah. I do too. Unless I'm talking about Blake Wheeler for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
That one episode. I can't believe I did that. But speaking of people who were supposed to be out for the season, I don't even know if Filipino was on the ice today. For
What?
I don't know what happened. He's not coming back anytime soon. He's still not. There's no timetable. I don't expect to see him like at all anytime soon. But he's on the ice. I can't believe it. I legitimately cannot believe it.
Didn't he? What injury did he have? Did he have like
concussion? It has to be a concussion.
Oh yeah, a bad concussion.
And he suffered like multiple concussions in his career already of like 6 years or something like that.
Like, dude,
I don't know. Filipino's been in the NHL for 6 years or something like that. Believe it or not.
Wow, dude, it's been that long.
He came in he came in as a teenager, so that kind of makes sense. Hold on, how long has he been in the league? But I cannot believe he's like actually on the ice, like practicing. Granted, he's not clear. He's not playing at the moment. Jeez, like 7 seasons he's appeared in. My goodness. But man, if Filipino comes back and is like good, put him with Kreider and Zibanejad. Try that out.
Oh yeah,
try that out because he might be someone who can do something with them.
Oh yeah,
and a full contact jersey too, which I for some reason too, in a full contact jersey for practice.
That's scary. That's scary though. Like for a guy who's had multiple concussions.
I want him to like be able to live a healthy life. Man.
Yeah, dude. Just like I know, like these guys, this is
their life.
Like their whole life is playing hockey, and they've spent that time just
take it slow. Yeah, very
just
slow.
like sacrificing their health, their physical health, to play hockey and play it at a high level,
a very high level to win the Stanley Cup,
which you guys have a very good chance of doing.
I mean, the last 2 games were very not good for me as a person. I was not happy.
I mean, the Devils got officially eliminated from playoff contention, so.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
Like that was last night. They beat the Leafs like 6-5.
That was
I gotta watch that LFR.
Speaking of which, Austin Matthews has like 68 goals now.
I'm like, thank God the Devils didn't let him score 70.
I would have allowed him to score 70 if I were the Devils.
I thought it had a pretty solid chance of happening because he had 2 goals, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna get the hat trick, and then he's gonna put in the empty netter.
But man,
Jesper Bratt, who quietly
had
a career year. He had like 80 plus. He's at 81 points right now.
Yeah, talk about quiet. Jesus.
Jesper Bratt has always been a quietly good player.
Really good player, actually.
Like, I know 3 years ago, it was like 2-3 years ago when he really started breaking out. It was the 21-22 season where he broke 70 for the first time. Then last year, the Devils had a lot more eyeballs on them, so a lot more people recognized Jesper Bratt. But of course, with the Devils, it was all about Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Dougie Hamilton, Timo Meier. And so Jesper Bratt sort of flew under the radar. And this year, the Devils being the most disappointing team in the league.
Not the Senators. Sorry, Canadian media. Not the Senators. It's the Devils.
But the Devils, disappointing team. Jesper Bratt playing with inconsistent line mates. He dropped 80 points.
Just casually.
Just casually dropped 80 points. There are some positive things to take away from the Devils this season. I mean, my big positive is that Timo Meier's actually still good.
Believe it or
not.
That
I was sweating that early in the year. I'm like, oh, like, oh, this could be bad. Like if he doesn't produce, then they ended up putting him in his natural position. I think Lindy Ruff had a horrible effect on Timo Meyer.
Honestly, yeah, with his point production.
Like since March 4th, he's point per game and he scored like 16 goals.
That's a good pace.
They were talking about Mika March, dude. Timo Meyer stole Mika's month. I mean, he was scoring he's scored a goal like every other game since like over the last month. So I can take solace in that. I can take solace in next year. Like the Devils are they're a mess, but they're a very fixable one.
Yes.
Like it's fixable. They just need to hire the right coach. They need to find
a goalie.
They need to find a goalie and they need to shore up the defense a little bit. And let the young guys naturally progress.
Man, shore up the defense. Resign Brendan Smith.
I'm okay with letting them go.
But you need to shore up defense though.
I would not say that Brendan Smith plays defense. I put that very lightly.
Yeah, the Rangers lost to the Flyers last night.
Oh yeah, and the Flyers, they were on a nasty skid too.
The freaking
the Metro, dude. I remember going into so much. It's gonna be so hard to compete. I think the Devils this year was an anomaly. I think next year the Devils are. I think next year the Metro. So. I think next year. No, I'm saying like I genuinely think that next year the Metro is gonna be in some order Rangers, Hurricanes, Devils.
All right, I'll clip that and make sure and hold you to that.
But I think in some order it's going to be that. Like I'm saying this like as a mentally in a mentally stable position. I think if the Devils do what they're supposed to do this offseason, if they hire a good coach, if they shore up the goal if they trade for UC Saros, I think that is their end game.
Or Linus Ullmark.
Like they really want Linus Ullmark on this team. Oh, if they trade for an elite goaltender, if they get a couple of guys to, play a little bit of shutdown defense, because I can't trust Jonas Siegenthaler to be a top flight shutdown guy after this year. He's had down. You're sure he's had injuries, but I'm not banking. I'm not one who likes to bank on bounce backs. I was like, Jack Hughes is finally getting shoulder surgery.
I can't believe that. Like
he was playing with a separate, dude, when the team had basically no chance of making it to the playoffs, he was playing with it. And I don't want to hear anybody call Jack Hughes soft ever again. Ever again. I never want to hear anybody call Jack Hughes soft. It's that is not something that a soft human being does. Playing hockey, professional hockey, in my opinion, the most physically intensive sport in the world.
I mean, just look at the injuries that some of the hockey players play through in the playoffs, and when the injury reports come out after the series.
I remember Jumbo Joe in 2016 played through a torn ACL in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, John Couturier played through a torn ACL too, or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude, like I said, dude, hockey players don't care about their own health.
You gotta get those painkillers.
Oh, dude, the smelling salts,
which is a whole other topic.
Oh yeah, dude. There's probably a nasty. I'm sure there's probably been stuff in that, but there's probably there's probably a nasty painkiller.
Yes,
epidemic in the NHL.
You probably don't even know the.
I mean, didn't like Paul Correa.
A bit
everything with him. Oh my god,
Derek Bugard, but take that as you will, Derek Bugard. But anyways, back to the actual have you taken a look at the the Eastern Conference playoff seeding?
It's so funny.
Just look at it.
It's so funny. 5 of those teams don't deserve to be there.
The Penguins have just quietly got themselves back in the playoffs race. Much to my chagrin.
Much to your chagrin. Oh yeah, dude, you hate.
I hate them. Look at
the Islanders.
The Islanders are in the
the Islanders. The Islanders, I think, can be a scary matchup for a team because they have what a lot of our teams don't, and that's Ilya Sorokin, or a goalie similar to his.
Varlamov has been playing well for them. Not this stretch, I think.
But Sorokin's gonna be the guy.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, the wild card standings. The Penguins are in the last wild card spot. Then
what? Oh my god, they got into a spot?
Yeah, they're 86 points. 86 points. The Capitals, Red Wings, and Flyers all have 85 points. If the Penguins allow the Penguins to make the playoffs, those 3 teams should fold. Which honestly, I kind of like 2 of the 3 teams being folded there. If I got to be honest, but also I hate the Penguins making the playoffs. And also, if the Penguins somehow get the third spot in the Metro,
the Devils always beat the Penguins. You got nothing. Yeah, you have. Hey, we did our
and
job.
honestly, if the
we did our job in the clause.
and honestly, if the
Devils and the Jack Hughes era own the Penguins.
I mean, you lost your last matchup against them too.
I mean, yeah, but like,
Oh, so you didn't actually do your cause?
okay, we've done better than a lot of our teams. So,
but if the Penguins get themselves into the third spot in the Metro, the Islanders should also just fold too.
The Islanders are so all those teams are objectively bad in hockey. Thing is that like if I'm just saying is that like man, if the Devils traded for Jake Allen 2 months before they did, if they fired Lindy Ruff 2 months before they did, then the Devils would probably firmly be in the third spot in the Metro.
Someone as a
I'm saying like as a team, like in like by pure makeup, aside from goaltending and like some like spotty defense, I'd take the Devils in a 7-game series over a lot of those teams. I'd take the Devils with competent goaltending in a 7-game series over the Penguins. I'd take the Devils with competent goaltending in a 7-game series against the Islanders. I'd take the Devils in a 7-game series with competent goaltending against the Flyers. Like I know I'm sounding delusional right now. I know I very much sound delusional right now, but I'm just calling it like it is. I'm just calling it the way I see it. That's what infuriates me the most about the Devils this season, because the Eastern Conference is so weak that they're better than half the team. Like I think they are more talented.
They are very talented
than half the team. They just shot themselves in the foot for no reason. They rested on their laurels for no reason.
I don't know why
they trusted the process.
I don't know why they didn't get a goalie. They go out for a goalie.
No, I remember the whole, it's like, Fitz is waiting for the right deal. It's like, I don't care about the right deal.
Hey, maybe he should have traded Michael McLeod when he had the chance.
Yeah, maybe we should have tried. I remember when those trade rumors were swirling around, I was like, no. Because that was before Michael McLeod was revealed to be
on the 20,
a despicable criminal.
Allegedly.
Who should be buried underneath whatever prison he gets sent to.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, man, Michael McLeod would have actually solved a lot of your problems if he didn't actually get part of the report.
Oh yeah, bottom 6. A guy who I'm looking out for next year on the Devils, like bottom 6, 4th line, Nolan Foote.
He was on the injured reserve.
He scored last night against the Leafs, and he has some upside.
Yeah,
like he always plays well enough when he's in the lineup.
Did Curtis McDermott get scratched or something?
Well, you know that they saved Curtis McDermott for Matt Rumpy.
What, they didn't want to save him for Ryan Reeves?
Well, because like the Curtis McDermott's whole purpose was to get brought in, because like the Devils and Leafs don't have any beef. Like there's nothing there. Like sure, 20 years ago there was something there. Like wow, it's probably more like 22, 23 years ago. Now that I think about it, like the 2000, 2001, that was when the Devils and Leafs butted heads in the playoffs.
I think we got like 5 minutes left. There's a warning.
I don't really know what else to
end it off with. But I guess. I mean, I'm happy.
I think we can just end it off here.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm a little worried how the Rangers played the last couple of games. I'm a bit more optimistic how the Mets have played recently, and that's kind of all I want to say. And we got the draft. We're hosting the draft show.
Yeah, we're hosting the draft show Thursday, April 25th, I believe.
All right.
So we'll be here.
We'll be
here
no
breaking down the Giant pick, the Jet pick, every other pick that's being made. in the first round. Every single trade that happens, it's going to be an interesting first round, especially with all these quarterbacks. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for next week, where we will probably be talking about more of the same stuff. We'll be talking about, obviously, Rangers playoffs, whoever they end up being matched up with in the first round. We'll be doing a bit of a preview for that. Yankees and Mets, going to be talking about that, obviously. And maybe talk about a little bit of the Knicks. Although we don't.
They made the playoffs.
The Knicks, ever since the Julius Randle news, that sort of took all the juice out of them.
They beat Boston last night. Though, I mean, Boston has nothing really else to play for.
Yeah,
at this point.
Nobody, and I don't really care that much about basketball. But anyways, stay tuned for that next week. As always, this has been Ball Knowers from Luke Dolan. I am Cameron Woolley, wishing you so long and good night.
Take care, everyone.